Okay, another nugget. In this one, we're going to cover a simple topic that most of us could get a lot better at. I know I could. It's a critical skill to becoming a top performer, and it's the skill of listening. If you want to build better rapport and credibility with people, work on becoming a better listener. If you want to have better relationships with people, be a better listener. Being a great listener is a common denominator among all top performers. It's also a learned skill, right? So you can study it, you can practice it, and you can get better at it. You've all heard the saying, you have 2 ears and you got 1 mouth, so you should listen twice as much as you speak. And there's a lot of wisdom in that. One of my favorite quotes on this is, listen to the other person's story. Listen to the other person's full story. Listen to the other person's full story first. So what does all that mean? As I've mentioned many times before, the number one desire of most people that you're going to run into is the desire to feel important. Study Maslow's hierarchy. Study Mary Kay Ash's sales training, right? Everyone wants to feel good, feel important. Being listened to, truly listened to, makes people feel important. So they're going to like you because it lets them know that you care about them. But one problem I have, and I notice people doing all the time, is they're thinking about a response while the other person's talking, right? So that's not good listening. You can't be a good listener if you're trying to think about what you're going to say next. So as you're talking, I hear one thing, I'm like, ooh, I want to respond to that. And then I'm formulating my response and my game plan in here, what I'm going to say to you about that. So did I hear anything else you said? No. And people are going to feel it. They're going to know it. They can just sense it, and they'll know you're not paying attention to them, right? It's a natural behavior. So get better at it and practice at it. Practice catching yourself when this happens and simply stop the thinking and start the listening. So the moment, if you're going to practice it, I start formulating a response, go, ooh, I'm formulating a response, stop that, go back into listening, and you'll get that habit better, right? Another bad habit I have, like many others, is interrupting too much, right? Interrupting people while they're talking is a surefire way to let them know you are not listening to them and you do not care what they're saying, right? Basically, you're telling them all their thoughts aren't valuable at all to you because I'm going to cut you off and tell you what I think, right? So make sure to work on that too as you're and I do that all the time. I interrupt people. I get excited most of the time and I want to add to the conversation, but I'm not listening, right? So I have to catch myself all the time, and I even apologize when I interrupted people. I try to. I don't do it all the time, right? So work on not interrupting. Let's recap this little nugget, right? Top performers in almost any field are extremely attentive, empathic listeners. They ask lots of questions and they listen intently to those speaking to them. They focus on listening to the other person's full story first before formulating a response, right? Sometimes a response isn't even necessary. Sometimes people just want to be heard and that's enough, right? Good listeners don't interrupt because they're focused on understanding the other party first. I personally have had many conversations with people where I only said a handful of words while they did almost all the talking. I would just encourage them to keep talking or ask a few questions. And at the end, I've had people rave about what a great conversation they had with me and how good it is to talk to me when I didn't really say anything, right? I was just listening, right? I'd be remiss if I didn't recommend a book or two here. So check out How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a phenomenal book. It's not specifically just on listening, but if you get that down, you're going to be a much better listener. And then The Lost Art of Listening by Dr. Michael Nichols. So obviously there's a lot more to learn about being a good listener than what I covered in this little video. So go do some research on your own. Practice this stuff. I guarantee it's going to have a positive impact on your personal and professional lives. Have a great day.